All right, so I guess we'll start with our war room, right? So if you haven't done the missions, well, you got gifted the gift chest, so that's awesome. Now, the fun thing about the war room is, first off, this is an alliance milestone. This is not an individual milestone. You do not have to go out there killing things all week, trying to do this many kills. All you have to do is get one kill just to get on the board to actually get counted towards the prizes, which is awesome. Your alliance will score points, will score points. You win a battle, you get 20k. You lose a battle, you get 10k. So even if you die, you still get the points for your alliance, get on the board, and you're in great shape. If you happen to steal any raw materials or raw isogen, you also get additional points that way. If it's latinum or concentrated latinum, you can also get that. So latinum, isogen, crystal gas, and ore will count for stuff. If your battle takes place in a territory system, you get double points. If it's during an incursion event, it's worth triple points, which should make this a little easier to fill up. Now, the war chest here says it resets every 7 days, which leads me to believe that this is going to be an ongoing weekly event. It's just going to run in the background weekly, forever, or indefinitely, shall we say. That has a lot of players unhappy, players who don't like PvP, because basically they're feeling like people are always going to be targeting them. They're going to be out trying to do their hostile grinds to, whatever they're trying to kill. Borg probes, Mantis, Stella, uh, faction grinding, whatever the case is, Monavine, right? That somebody's always going to just be looking for them doing their thing to go kill their warship, which is kind of how the game was always intended to be played, that there was always supposed to be that fear of that could happen at any time. And then the players created rules of engagement to kind of mitigate that. Um, it doesn't really seem to apply to minors, any of the event score. I mean, the event scoring and things like that don't seem like they're going to apply to that type of stuff. For the actual events that are going on, I mean, for this, yes, it'll help the war room. For the actual events that are running on the calendar, no. Looks like these have been adjusted. So we had the Unearthed Fleet. This is the ALB. Defeating players, non-mining player ships. This was changed a little bit. Miners do not count for this. One of the other events specifically says explorers, interceptors, or battleships. This one did not, but it has been updated, so it now reflects it. But the rewards for this are just okay, right? It's a couple of shards of Nurse Chapel, awesome new officer, a couple of shards of Jack Ransom, and then some materials. So, while people are going to want to go crazy because, they love PvP and they love winning leaderboard events, at least non-miners aren't counting for this, or only counting for this, rather, should I say. So your mining ships should still be safe. So it's going to be the people who are trying to just do all of the grinding and all of the new loops that we've gotten over the last 4 or 5 months that are going to be the most difficult, at least for the first few days, right? Once the novelty wears off and things like that, people aren't going to want to keep this up all the time. If they're happen to be out doing something like, oh, I haven't gotten a kill this week, okay, sure, maybe I'll pop somebody and get some points. But for the most part, I don't know that it's going to be a consistent, ongoing thing where the galaxy's always at war. Sure, it's a possibility. It's going to vary server by server, but it's not entirely uh, like ruining the game as people have actually posted and messaged me today about it. I had one person actually tell me they were done playing the game. This was their final straw because they don't like PvP, and this is just going to encourage more people to do PvP, which is making the game unplayable for them. And they haven't been happy up to this point, and this was their final straw. So I don't. Again, I don't think it's the straw that broke the camel's back. It could be for some players who are just have been looking for a reason. And if they don't like PvP and this makes PvP more popular, well, yeah, it's going to make the game less fun for them. So, what's up, Lord Hollywood? Chris, you like the war room stuff? Passive thing? Yeah, sure. The event is what is the BS. The war room's fine because it's just you're out there, you're hunting people who are OPC, stealing some resources, and which people do anyway, right? That's nothing new. That's all part of the normal grind and loops and mechanics of the game. So what else, you know, is once this event goes away in 3 days, will we see less hostilities in terms of people hitting just floating warships or people auto grinding in the Monavine system or one of the augment space or something like that? Maybe, or maybe that mechanic is now completely taken away because of the war room. Point system is geared toward number of ships killed. Yes, absolutely. You could get the event done in a few hours by just taking Rialta's go. Because the other part of the scoring mechanism for the war room here is based on diplomacy, right? Oh no, that's a different event. The actual event itself, territory, yes, you get bonus points for. This United Earth event here, based on your ranking with another alliance. So the easiest way to score a crap ton of points in this event would be to say, hey, buddy alliance, what are you guys doing right now? Let's flag each other as enemies, and let's do some Rialta versus Rialta PvP in our territory systems. You come to beta in this one, we'll do it for a little bit, then we'll go to your system for a little bit, and just keep doing Rialta PvP for 20 or 30 minutes, or 3 or 4 hours, whatever the case is, and you will rack up a whole crap ton of points. I'm not the only one to think of this. I saw it right away and went, okay, well, what's to stop you from just saying, hey, buddy, and just flagging everybody as an enemy for a few hours and going and killing a whole bunch of stuff. So King Gaza, you're doing that exact same thing. You have a Rialta battle in a TO system. Yeah. And that'll certainly should make TOs over the next few days even more interesting. While this is going on here, I will say, obviously flagging allies and opponents and things like that as enemies temporarily just to get extra points, it could lead to some confusion and people hitting stuff outside of the event. So you got to be really paying attention to what your alliance is doing. And most importantly, following along with your Discord and staying up to date in your alliance chat and not just logging in and ignoring everybody and killing everything. Lightning Hawk, you don't mind PvP if it's within a fair range? Well, that's a whole separate issue. Because the PvP ranges in this game are pretty wide. Basically kills auto grinding entirely. It does, and especially considering that was one of the bigger features of the Monavine loop, was that you wouldn't have to really do it actively. You could kind of do it passively. So that was supposed to make that loop not seem so taxing. And this does kind of take that away, which is a bit distressing. You guys marked all of it. Allies, yep. Everybody, yep. Till the system goes red. Exactly, and then you move on to a new system. What event is the Rialta event? It's not a specific event there, Bob. It's this United Earth Fleet ALB here. You just get points for killing other ships. There's no delineation based on the level of the ship or the power level of the ship or the type of ship like we see in other PvP events. It's just get a kill, get some points. So why not use your cheapest ship that has no repair cost and no repair time and get all the kills you can handle? Station combat doesn't seem to be working scoring properly for that, so that's a different thing. I think the ships have to be out of the station, Lord Hollywood. I don't think it's designed to score for station hits. At least for one of the events here. This one's just hostiles. I gotta finish that one up. Here's your PvP event. This is an SLB, giving out a couple more Nurse Chapel shards. This is the PvP event I was talking about, though, how it only scores for explorers, battleships, and interceptors. All the events were supposed to have the same scoring mechanism. They obviously didn't copy paste this metric and wording accurately between them. And this is kind of the same thing. You can do PvP, or you can grind out 600 PvE hostiles over the next 2 days. Good luck doing that, but even if people come by and kill you while you're grinding out your hostiles, you'll still get 500 points, which is worth 25 kills. So what's up, Hypodermics? GP's asking where the isolytic weapon, the new forbidden tech. Probably not for sale yet. It'll be coming sometime in this arc. I'm sure there'll probably be an event tied to it, so expect that probably in about a week. And then we'll get, next week, probably sometime, we'll probably get the forbidden tech and probably the new artifact will be up for sale, most likely. I don't see them doing any events giving that stuff away for free, so. Lloydson says you just use your export credits. Well, that's one of the things that they did to sort of try to balance this back out, was they did tweak a number of these upgrades here in the Xborg store, where you can convert your basic generic credits, not even the uncommon ones, these generic Xborg credits. They've enhanced a number of the loops. See if I can go find that chart real quick to really pump up the values on some of them. Let's see what we got. I think it's here. Let's go find Xborg exchanges. No. Well, the short version is that they pumped up the output significantly on the Talios, the Monavine, the Stella, and the Mantis, and the Bajoran one, I think, were the 5 that they did. They did not do Voyager. They did not do the Meridian. They may have done the Fuchsia as well. So these all got large boosts. So effectively, you could start to phase some of this grinding out. Um, you know, if I come in here, if I get, let's say 750, 800 credits a day from doing my dailies, and probably a little more from doing some of these Xborg turn-ins, from doing my Zindi, because I know my Zindi box here also has some generic Xborg credits in it. I could come here, I could get 3.8 million nanoprobes for 400. Well, if I get, 1,000 a day, and I don't need to do that every day, what does 3.8 million get me? Let's go to the right refinery. Borg Tech. If I still needed charged nanoprobes, well, if I did 3.8 million, I could do 4 single chest pulls or 1 double chest pull. But realistically, I could do 4 single chest pulls, and then, yeah, like I don't have to kill Borg probes. I just have to do that pull once per week, once every 4 days. And then the other 3 days in between, I could use that same currency to pull something else. Meanwhile, I'm getting about 1,000 of it a day, so I can cut some of those loops out. It is a big quality improvement, but unfortunately it does come at the expense. If you're still working on research in that tree or other things that you do want to get, you are going to have to you would have to sacrifice that in order to save the time on the loops. So it's not without its trade-offs, because there are still some researches and stuff in here that I'm sure people are still working on in this front half of this tree here, and these do take, good amounts of these credits and things. But then you have to also go back and ask yourself, well, what am I spending these on? If I'm spending it on here so I get more Axion Venom drops from hostiles, well, I could just not upgrade this because I don't need to kill these hostiles anymore, because I could just get, a couple 100,000 currency every couple of days out of the Xborg store, and I don't have to kill Mantis anymore. So why do I need to do the research to make the Mantis better? Little things like that. Why do I need to make the nanoprobes payout higher if I'm, whatever? So some of this stuff you might get to skip a few of them. Basically, the Mantis ones are probably the more likely of them, because that ship is probably only useful now for basically stinging people. So Reb's going on about how great this quality of life is. I do not see it as anything but a short-term fix. You'll run out of credits at some point. You can't do them all every day. No, you can't do them all every day, but then again, you don't need to do them all every day. The Xborg one, like I said, I get 4 days worth of credits to do single pulls. If I want to do double pulls, that's a problem. You can't do double pulls. If you want to do double pulls, you have to farm. But if you just want to do single pulls and just keep, the thing moving along without, kind of passively in a way, I probably did my dailies already. Yeah. To even see what I would get out of here. But I think it's probably around 800 or so a day that I get out of here. Plus, again, the Zindi refinery also gives me some of those generic credits as well. So even if I can do 2 pulls a day, that's 2 loops that I get to skip for several days. And if I kind of alternate them and keep flip-flopping them, you can probably skip several loops until you even finish some of them, right? Like if I'm done with the Stella, well, I don't need the materials for that anymore. I could just skip that altogether. If you have the Ferengi Whip, well, you don't need to do the Fuchsia pull because, well, you just go mine it for 5 seconds and you've got millions of it and you're set. So then you're really down to, what am I pulling in here? The Monavine, because I can't auto-grind that anymore, sure. I don't need the Stella. I don't need the Defiant stuff anymore. The Meridian Isogen one did not get much of a boost. So this is not a lot. This might have an impact. You might not be able to refine much with this one. You might still have to mine Isogen. That one did not get enhanced. The Voyager 1 also did not get enhanced, so those loops you would still have to participate in. But like we said, Monavine gets cut out, Mantis gets cut down. Maybe you still need Defiant, Fuchsia, whatever. Maybe. Talios can also get cut down, if not phased out altogether. So, yes, we added 5 new loops now over the last 5 months, but now they're at least making it possible to thin out or cut down several of them to try to balance it back out a little bit. And it helps. It does. It helps. It's not as drastic as last year when we got the X-Borg to cut out all the faction and all the swarms. But it's another step, at least in the right direction, I think. So the one bundle you wanted, yeah. Lower players should still focus on Mantis for wave defense. Maybe. I don't think the Mantis is that good in wave defense, to be honest, because without the buffs, the Mantis isn't all that great. It kind of caps out, wave 4, wave 5. Personally, I think you're probably, for most players, you're better off just using like a burning crew to take out some of those things anyway. Every alliance milestone you hit, you're talking about the war room? So here's the thing. So when you hit the different alliance milestones, there's 2 war chest keys in each of the 5 milestones. So you'll get 10 total keys per week. It takes you 5 to open a box and get your materials, whatever's in here. I haven't even looked. Let's see what's in here. So we've got junk resources, 93 emblems of honor, which is what you need to upgrade the building, 1 seal of Kotal, which is what you need, the currency you need towards the research. I think you need like 100 to do the first level, so that would take quite a bit. Then it's some 5-star, small amounts of 5-star resources for me, and some 5-star ship parts in here as well. So it is like kind of like a mini treasury. There is no cooldown on this, as far as I know, from what I've been told, or seen people talking about. So technically, you could claim 2 per week. But what people are suggesting is either don't claim any of these, or maybe just do like 1 a week for a little while, because as you see here, as you advance your building, your rewards will increase. So my resources go up a little bit, but I mean, honestly, they still suck. I wouldn't use it for that. But talking about the other resources that are in here, if we can scroll this down a little bit, and I can at least get a comparison. So we'd go from, actually I think the real answer would be is to just do it this way. Where's my snip? Let's just do this. Alright, then I can scroll over here. Alright, so what are we going from? We're going from 81 to 135. We're going from 25 to 41. We're going from 7 to 11. We're going from 2 epic to 3 epic. So small increases. And I think from what I've heard, every 5 levels of the building is when you get your next improvement. So, level 1, this is what you get. This is your basic stuff. You get to level 6, it goes up. You get to level 11, 16, 21, etc. That's where your rewards keep increasing. Basically, every 5 levels, you upgrade the building personally. And then we talked about the Seal of Kotal here. That is used for the new research, which is here in the combat tree in the beginning. Tactical Warmonger right here. Increased base weapon damage against players. Level 1 is 600% of an increase. Then it goes to 1500. Then it goes to 3000. As you can see here, your Seal of Kotal costs 100 to get the first level. So if you get 2 a week, it takes you 50 weeks to do it. But if you upgrade the building, then your reward chests get better and you'll start sourcing 2 or 3 per chest. So now you're cutting weeks down. So really it's upgrading the building first. That's the good thing to do. But now the question is how do you get the materials to do this? You get it through events, or you are going to have to at least claim some of your emblems in order to get your building up. So you might want to think about adopting, like maybe you do one unlock per week and save the rest. You know, you get 10 a week, you spend 5 so you can start making some progress on the building, and you have a little surplus stashed away so that way you can also upgrade, or when you do get to a higher level and the rewards get better, now you can claim multiple chests. The details tab of the building also shows War Room reward bonus. There you go. That it changes every 5 levels. Thank you for pointing that out, Carissa. Yeah, so the higher level you get the building up, but also ops is also a component as well in determining what your resources are in the box, right? So I'm in G5, I'm ops 56, I'm going to get 5-star materials. My level 46 account is going to get 4-star materials. So there's a correlation there, of course, just like with the treasury and other things. Hypodermics, I'm evaluating everything at the end of May. I'm not like, oh, this was good or this was bad. I'm not nitpicking and keeping a running score. At the end of May, I'll make a decision. So they do have a pack in the store. If you buy the $100 bundle, I believe that you can take the building all the way to 16, as I think where people have said that they've gotten with it for the $100 investment. So that's going to give you several upgrades on your building. On your war chest, rather, is going to have several upgrades there. Plus, getting the building all the way up to level 16 is going to give you a nice shield officer stat bonus and an 8% overall change to your isolytic bonus. From what you get from just doing the missions and storylines and stuff, you can get the building right away to level 4. If you cash in a war room token, you can probably get, let's see, I need about 400. And what do I get in here? 93. So yeah, that's not going to do it. Bob, thank you very much for subscribing with Twitch Prime. And Morphes, thank you very much for the follow a couple minutes ago. I was in the middle of a rant. Sorry I couldn't stop and acknowledge you at that point. Day 1 pack has 16. Maybe that's the one. The day 1 pack, you got it all up to 17, Brian's? Okay, I think that's what I heard, was that people were getting to 16 or 17 with the day 1 pack. And then, obviously, if you want to keep spending, you can keep buying additional packs. I'm sure if we go to stfc.space, we can check out the war room and see exactly what we're talking about here. So if we get it up to 17 with the limit 1 pack, and then the additional packs have 11,000 credits in them, well, now's where you're going to start to see your drop off in your diminishing returns, right? Because now you're here at 2,200. So you're getting maybe 4 levels out of that second $100 pack. And then you're maybe getting 4 more, probably coming up a little short. Maybe you're getting 3.5 levels from the next pack, etc., etc. And now you're really going to see it start to shrink as you try and get higher and higher with the building upgrade. So there's a mission that gets you to level 5. There's a couple missions in the holodeck here. I'm sure that some of them may have additional rewards. I'm sure there's probably also some materials in the battle pass along the way. If you bought the battle pass, there you go. There's 925 right there, milestone number 2. That'll get you another level or 2. And we'll see if maybe later in the month they might throw some more stuff your way. Here you go, towards the end of the month as well. Only in the paid track, it looks like. There's another 2,000 here towards the end of the month, which might get you, depending on where you are, could be 1 level, could be 2 or 3 levels for your trouble as well. So, Gaza, you're at level 6, so you got to level 5 and then did a pull of the war room so you could get to level 6 to get the next level of materials. Okay. So upgrading the building is directly increasing your isolytic damage. It is. There is a 0.5% increase to your isolytic damage every single level you take the building up. So if you get the building to level 20, you just added 10% to your isolytic damage, which is incredibly important as we segue into our next topic, I guess, or start to segue into our next topic. We can, if people still have questions about the war room, we can talk about this for another few minutes. But the Gorn, our new hostile, only take damage from isolytic weapons. So did I talk about how incredibly slow the upgrades on the building get even at low levels? Yeah, I mean, if you're not buying the battle pass, your really only options are you open the war chests, and if you're getting at the base levels, if I'm getting 93, you know, I can do 2 of these a week. That gets me 186. I need 500 to do the building. So now I need, what, 2 or 3 chests in order to get enough to open it. That might take me a couple of weeks. And then does that change? Does that go up? Slightly. So when I get to the next tier, I get 1 seal still. I get 95 emblems of honor. So not really much of an upgrade in terms of sourcing the building upgrades. Those of you who do have your building at higher levels, are you still getting 1 seal of Kotal at, you know, tier 11, tier 16, tier 21? Or is there a point where you actually start getting more than 1 seal? Yar, your building is at 17. It still says 1 seal for you there as well. You're getting 100 emblems at 17 now. Okay, so again, a very slow increase, like every 5 levels. You're basically getting like 2 more, 3 more emblems per chest pull. So it's going to be a slow grind to upgrade the building for sure. And then that kind of ties into, people are talking about, well, save them till you get to a higher level. It's like, well, how do I get to a higher level? Because this is the best way to get the emblems. So you kind of have to cash some of them in, at least to some degree. And the increases, at least as far as upgrading the building and stuff go, aren't all that better as you advance. Chris says at 21, you should start getting more than 1 seal. Oh, because it says War Room reward bonus. Well, you're up to 145. That might still round down at 21. You might literally have to take this building to 26 to have your bonus go from 145 up to 220 to start getting extra seals. Because 1 times 1.45 is 1.45, and Scopely rounds down, typically. Yeah. It could definitely be a while to get there to start getting 2 seals, but, you know, I'm sure, since it's PvP related and people tend to spend money on PvP related items, there's a chance that they might have a bundle up for sale here soon with some seals in it. And not the cute kind that you see at the zoo. This is just a basic mats pack, okay. It's 100 for the first level. I didn't even look at the other, at what it takes to take it to 2 or 3. Let's go take a look. Of course, now I forgot what it's called. Oh, maybe that was it. Nope, that's not it. Summary of the war room. It's a slow roll. Yes, absolutely, Samo. It's going to be a long road. Tactical Warmonger. That's what it's called. Tactical. That was a mistake. I should have just looked for Warmonger. That would go a lot faster. So level 1 is 100 seals. Oh, okay, so it doesn't change. It's just 100 seals per level in order to get it there. Oh. Hang on a second. Somebody's knocking on my door, I think. Okay. Yeah, so if you're sourcing 1 or 2 per chest pull, you're getting, we'll call it 2, for the most time, for a long time, you're going to be getting 2 per week, which means you'll eventually get this research, the first level of it, for free in 9 to 12 months, somewhere in that range, depending, because again, if you level up a little bit, you might start getting 2 seals at some point. I don't know if you'll get there in time, but it's going to be a long ways away if you're trying to get this free to play. But it's a 600% damage bonus for the first level. And then it's another 900% for level 2, and another 1500% for level 3. Are they going to sell a shortcut? Possibly. Probably. Would players spend $100 per level? I'm sure plenty of them would. So once you get all 3 levels, you get to hold on to the seals with no use. Well, yes. You can, but who knows? Maybe they'll add something else someday after that, right? Maybe they'll add another thing that gives you increased defense against player weapons. Or increased piercing stats or something. Even, yeah. That takes the same weapons and just to keep enhancing this feature. They have a ticketed event recruit and ticketed event domination this weekend. Okay. Wait till this weekend, you assume material event then to upgrade buildings in general. Yeah, I would assume there's going to be um, events all week, every weekend like normal for officer recruits. Aloha, Dr. Iron Chef. Thank you for the 100 bits and welcome to the show. How you doing, man? Yeah, definitely going to be a long road upgrading this thing. And if there is no direct sourcing and the only way to actually get these emblems is either going to be to claim them or possibly to get them as a reward for an event somewhere in here, that could also impact how things go. Uh, spend emblems. This is a SLB. I'm currently ranked 75th with 65,000 points. I did all the stuff free to play. Would you care to look at all the people who have done something? Okay, so the top 50 are basically in the same bucket I am. And then you've got these people who, I don't know what they did, that they got a little bit. Is there like a $20 pack that they bought? Oh, maybe they did their battle pass. They bought the $20 battle pass, so they got the bottom half of it, so they got an extra couple of levels. And then you've got the people who actually probably bought a pack and got multiple levels and really leveled their building up. So, because as we said, you know, the what's here in the battle pass gets you probably 2 more levels there. And then at the end of the arc, you'll have this getting you another 2 or 3 levels there. Now, we may have also events that might also be scoring this kind of stuff. I haven't really looked at what's going on here. These are some long-term events as we look at the event calendar. What do we got? This is a 2-month event, so it sounds like this is a 2-month arc, right? It sounds like this is a short-term event, kind of like the Enterprise and movie arc and stuff was, where it's only 2 months long. And maybe that means we're going back to Discovery in 2 months as well. Again, because they don't have enough content to flush out a whole new 3 or 4 month arc, so they'll do 2 months of this and 2 months of, Discovery or something maybe, and that'll and then put an event store at the end of all that. So by doing some of this stuff in recruiting, you get more possibilities of getting Sam Kirk shards. This Cloak of War one, this is a short-term one. This has shards for all 3 of them in it, but only paying out to the top 5. Yikes. That's going to be hard to do. We've got an individual SMS, though, just for getting your Battle Pass points and for completing some of your side events. Well, that'll get you some extra currency. Okay, so there you go. This will help you upgrade your building a little bit. So again, it might be worth holding off some of your pulls until you get through this. This is claiming Battle Pass points. That's not going to get you all the way there. You're going to have to do these SMSs as well to get the rest of the way, because the Battle Pass only has probably, 325,000 points. So it's like, where am I going to get the other, 400K? Well, even this doesn't seem like it's going to be enough. 30, 60. This is only 160. That scoring must not be right. Yeah, that's not scoring right. Okay, because I've got 15,000 points in my Battle Pass, but it says I've got 45,000 points. Oh, no, because I also finished Demarcation Line, didn't I? Yeah, I don't know how this is going to work, because this doesn't seem right. This doesn't seem right. I don't know how you're going to finish this. If your Battle Pass is worth 1 point per thing and you get... There's what? What's the overflow? Where is the overflow? Oh, yeah, it's over here because they moved it. 322. So, yeah, so you need another 400,000 points. Unless they're going to add more events to this as the month goes on. Or if these events are repeatable. So if an Epic Recruit Heroic event shows up 3 times throughout the month, every weekend, and a Service Commendation event, this is the one where you get from running tickets, right? If you do your rare ticket, that's the Service Commendation event. So if you do your rare ticket event, that'll get you 50,000 more points. So if you can do multiple rare ticket events, that could also get you the rest of the way. Or if you happen to buy tickets so you can do rare ticket events. This Gorn Venom and Demarcation Line, they might also run multiple times. I haven't looked at the calendar yet, so let me go back and look at that, because maybe they're on there multiple times. Epic Recruits, they've got a couple weekends of that. Event to be announced at a later date. Okay, so at least they put it on the calendar, and they're not being specific about our officer recruiting events this month. Spend materials, spend Armada directives, or Xindi Armada directives. Okay. That's for the SLB. The recruit is just, spend materials like usual. Upgrade the war room. We got those going on. This event does not come back this month. Okay. So demarcation line looks like it comes back a couple of times. Okay, so you'll have plenty of opportunities to do some of these demarcation lines, getting 30,000, 30,000 a pop. Same thing with these Gorn SMSs as well, also comes back towards the end of the month. Okay, so there'll be plenty of opportunities along the way to pick up points from these events. So okay, so I feel a little better about that now. Had to stop and look at it all. Yeah, there's a bunch of instances. Okay, so yeah, just make sure you don't miss any events. Basically, is kind of what it comes down to, and then you'll get a nice big chunk of stuff to upgrade your new building, and the Sam Kirk mustache frame there.